Hi, Paul Slackett, Good News Planet. I'm speaking to Catherine Hicks. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm fine, Paul. It's nice to talk to you.
Nice to speak with you. We're going to talk about a serious concern that Catherine has come out, and she's a renowned actor for many years.
Thank you.
And a mother from Seventh Heaven. And you've even appeared on the stage with Jack Lemmon, I believe,
Yep,
and Art
that's right.
Carney.
Right
and,
in New York.
David Niven.
Yeah, Maggie Smith.
God almighty.
I know.
What about show business? I know you've been doing this for some time because you love it.
Yeah, I was a late bloomer to it, but in college it tickled my fancy, so I just studied it and wanted to do it.
Now, you were an honor student too, though. I recollect. You got to find out everything about somebody, on these Wikipedias and stuff, right?
Yeah. I was an English major at Notre Dame, and then studied at Cornell, and then went to the city.
And then you came to the city to go into show business?
Well, yeah, to be on Broadway.
Yeah,
and then I wanted to do feature films and all of it. You just want to do it, but now I'm a real mother, and that's really probably the hardest job. But it's what leads me to care about things that come up. I never knew that the misuse and abuse of prescription medicine in the home is really such an urgent public health issue. And so that's why I joined up with the National Community of Pharmacists Association and the Purdue Pharma company, and we're launching Safeguard My Meds program. Because people really need to know that by properly safeguarding their prescription medicine in the home, they can help prevent abuse. And I never knew that, 70% of people 12 years and older who abuse pain relievers say they get them from a friend or a relative. And every day 2,500 teens try prescription medicine for the first time. So it dawned on me that, I have never checked my prescription med bottles. They're laying around the house, in the kitchen, in the junk drawer, in the purse. And that's where the kids are getting them, and it's not to say your kids do it, but they could have friends or people visiting. You just don't want them to get in the wrong hands. So it's a very simple matter of just scooping them all up and storing them in a place far away from things, up in a shelf, and even locking them up in a storage container, and then taking inventory. I mean, how many of us, it's like everything's expired. I have no idea what's in my house. And but you keep track of them because it's really sort of, they do a lot of good. The prescription meds, they help us, but it also comes with personal responsibility of sort of keeping track of them. So, and tell your kids not to share their meds with other people, and don't take anyone else's medicine. And then what I really love, because I've always loved the old-time pharmacists, but these are the people that really can be friends, because that's how to discard the old stuff. It's you don't want to flush them, but you just talk to your local pharmacist, and they know they know what to do with them. So I thought, maybe we can do something to help these horrible statistics, because the kids it's so sad,
I agree. We've done quite a few stories on this subject.
Really?
We've done them with the what they call the drug czar of the country, government officials, and as well, quite a few times. And I always am happy
to do
unhappy, happy and unhappy, happy to share it, but unhappy to hear about it.
Well, I know the kids are drinking like crazy in college. I mean, my daughter just started USC, and they're every weekend they're going by ambulance to it's like, why are there belt and vodka shooters? I think they're under a lot of pressure, but the prescription medication thing, the scene is really they're not getting them from the street dealers. They're going to each other's houses and raiding the cabinets. And I'm afraid that I'm gonna. I write on them. What was it for? Pain in the back, pain in the neck. Because I'm afraid I'm gonna take the wrong one. Exactly.
In my own house.
No, I know. I never kept track of them. But if people, there's extra information on the website of safeguardmymeds.org, and they have downloadable features and videos, and they have a sample medication inventory sheet, because it's like, if you don't know what meds you have, you can't have a medically safe home. So And they have a little quiz to see how you test your medical safety knowledge, and then like a little pledge. And maybe people can just become alert and scoop these things up and help our kids not be tempted, or actually a visitor. And also, my mother passed away 4 years ago at 91, but this applies to all our parents too who are getting older, and we have to watch out for them, what they're taking, and keep track of that. I know that was really hard for me. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what my mom was supposed to take or when,
My mother would write it down. She wrote down which one she would take so everybody would know.
How smart is she?
She was a teacher, and she skipped 3 grades and a librarian, and she wrote everything down.
Exactly.
Paul, get up at 8. No.
Yeah. Paul, you haven't pooped in 2 days.
She knew everything. No. She was very organized, unbelievably.
How long did she live?
She lived till late 80s.
That's nice, isn't it?
Oh, magnificent.
Yeah.
I loved her dearly, and we have a library here dedicated to her because of her librarian, and she gave me the Reverend Norman Vincent Peale's book, The Art of Positive Thinking, when I was in junior high school.
Oh, my gosh.
About thinking positively, and I'd say it created good news broadcast, that mindset of education. Once again, what we're talking about here, that, being, I guess, a thought process, using your brain to think about positive and good things.
I love that.
It's a good thing. I have to also emphasize along with you that the pharmacists, I think, are magnificent.
I agree with you.
I literally go to the pharmacists and you make a friend. If you move to a new neighborhood, you should go and say hello to your pharmacist.
Oh, yes.
Very, very important person in your life. Equal, not equal, but I don't know about equal, not equal. It doesn't matter equal or not. But along with your doctor.
I agree.
I also think that I can't read these doctors' handwriting. So
and they're inaccessible. This guy or gal you can go in and chat with. It's very comforting, isn't it? A pharmacist.
Yes, very comforting.
It's like from It's a Wonderful Life feeling.
And I've done many pharmacist stories specifically for this reason, because they're not just like a send away to college certificate.
Yes.
They're college medically trained people. You can't be a pharmacist without that. So.
Yeah, they're so knowledgeable, and I agree with you.
Who's Purdue Pharma?
That's a pharmaceutical company, mm-hmm. Purdue Pharma, and they've they make pharmaceuticals, but I sort of admire them for getting this in action to help people control the consumption.
Right? No, there's no doubt. This is a do-good, socially responsible thing for a company to do. 70% of people 12 and older who abuse prescription medicine say they get them from a friend or relative.
Yeah, it's really, it's like it is an urgent issue now, because it's like that's a new thing. 20 years ago they weren't getting them from the homes, but this is like prescription medicine invasion. Yeah,
no, it happens to be one of the most insane things I could ever hear of.
I know. I feel our kids. Maybe it's the world. Who knows?
Now they have on here, as you stated. I'm looking at Safeguard My Meds. Okay.
And,
about Safeguard My Meds, take a personal responsibility pledge. So what is that? Let me see what that is.
The personal responsibility pledge.
So you. I guess I understand. Each of us has a responsibility to keep our prescription medicine out of the wrong hands, okay? Take the prescriptions at pledge and commit to do your part. 2 clicks below will start making the difference. Ask your family and friends to do the same. The more people who pledge to safeguard their medicine, the more progress we will make toward fighting misuse and abuse. Okay, now you have to do an action here.
Yes. That's it sounds funny, but it sort of helps, makes it official.
It's a pledge. A pledge for somebody who's willing to do it, more than likely is going to live by it.
Yeah, you're right. Like the old days.
Then the old days are good. What you working on nowadays?
Little movies and a Lifetime series, and I finally got my daughter settled in college. That takes that senior year in high school is pretty rigorous. So now I went back to acting class, really heavy duty, like the methods, Lee Strasberg, Stanislavski.
What?
Because I'm sort of like I need to re-inspire myself so that I'll be good again. You can get dried up.
No way. No, okay, I appreciate that. Never hurts to learn. You know, I agree with you.
You got to dig up the stuff again, dig it up so you have something to bring in the room.
I agree 100, and that goes along with every profession. It's not just acting. And I know, I used to be a producer of Love of Life many years ago.
Oh my gosh!
So I know you were on Ryan's Hope, right?
Yep.
And the fact of the matter is, in all professions, you know, you go to college, you study about your field, then you go out and you work in it, and you forget about really studying it. You don't read the trades, you don't see some of the new things and new inventions. And that's obviously why you've been so successful.
With acting, you have to keep your emotional life inside cooking, you know, so that, I mean, you just have to stay fluid. And that's harder than it looks. And I think when you're in domestic life, like being a mom, then you have to like remove and go back to that place where you were a lonely artist and try to, you know, you have to need to create again.
Oh, well, that's a reality. That's the business. It's a great business, isn't it?
It is. It entertains the planet.
And it's great when you're working.
Yeah.
It's by far. Let me ask one last question. I look forward to meeting you, and thank you for coming out and sharing your notoriety with this important subject. What's good news for you? Good news for me? You mean seriously? Yeah. Good news for me. I'm in New York City. Yeah. And I was born here, and I am not exaggerating. I look at the buildings and get like I wept in the lobby of the St. Regis. I don't know. I think it's a great place. Okay. It's just I don't know why. It just is. I'm in New York City, and I couldn't agree any more than with you. It's and it's only getting nicer. She's a grand old girl, you know. Yeah. You have a lot of good spirit to you. Thanks so much. Thanks, Paul. You take care and be happy too. Okay. Thanks. Bye bye.